Marinero, the Sick Podcast. We're talking hoops again. And with March Madness going on, why not get somebody on who's been there before and can tell us everything we need to know about the tournament? And I bring in John D'Angelis, of course, my co-host when we talk hoops, basketball aficionado. John, how you doing, bud?
Thank you very much. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce aficionado or aficionado. How do you pronounce that word?
It would be aficionado. And as is custom, when you bring someone over to my house the way you did last week with Coach Scary, why don't you do the honors again today and introduce our guest to our public?
Oh, boy. Coach Herenda.
Johnny.
My guy. You see this hat?
I love it. This
is from Coach Herenda. I run foreign tours in the summer. I've been doing it for about 10 years. And Coach came up with his squad. And I can't forget his beautiful wife, Jill, and his handsome son. And we went out for lunch. And then at the end of the trip, Trey and Coach and all of us were there. And he took out this hat from his bag. And he presented it to me, and he gave the bag to my son, and he said, in 2024, you're my starting point guard. And then I took out an Expos hat, and I gave it to him. But he's got such a nice head. He likes to show it on TV, so he doesn't really wear hats as often as me. I'm losing my hair, so I'm not quite there yet. FDU is in Teaneck, New Jersey. They've been to the tournament 2 times, I think, in the last 6 years or 5 years. They're a powerhouse in the Northeast Conference. He's one of the most heralded coaches in the Eastern United States. He's a scholar. He's a coach. He has spoken at the commencement and graduation nights. He's got his own show on Sunday mornings. I've been on it. I've been lucky. He's had Jay Billis, Vital. He's just a champ. He's a winner. And I can't tell you how lucky we are to have this guy on the show.
Stop, Johnny. That's enough.
Okay. All right.
I'll send you another hat.
Okay.
John and Tony, I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. It's an honor to be up in Canada. We have 2 players on our team from the great country, and I'm just really excited to be with you guys today.
Well, thanks for doing this, Coach Herenda. We appreciate it. Hey, one of the things I know about you is the last 3 coaching jobs you've held, your teams have improved in terms of their win total right away by almost 10 games in the first year in each of the programs.
Yes.
So clearly you have the secret. You have the secret recipe. How did you do it?
That's a big compliment, and I think it's just old school. It's hard work, it's good people, and it's perseverance. And I tell all my guys, Tony, when I get jobs, let's not wait to be great. And so many people, want instant gratification, but it comes through hard work. Mm-hmm. So I have an ability. The one ability I have, I don't think I'm a great coach. I don't think I'm great at anything, but I have the ability to inspire human beings on the court and off the court. And when I was a young boy growing up right in the shadows of New York City, I used to get my friends together, get them on a bus, get to the subway, and then go to the New York Met games when we were like 9, 10 years old. So I was always a guy that people followed a little bit. And I think before you get to basketball, you have to get to people.
So my question was, in his first 3 years, or in his last 3 coaching jobs in his first year, he improved every team's and every school's winning by 10 games per year, almost 10 games, 9.33. How did you do it? And I was convinced he was going to say, well, John D'Angelis used to call me every day to give me advice. And I used to do the opposite of what he used to say. And more often than not, we used to win.
Now he just hangs up.
No, man, Johnny, I got to be honest with you, Tony. We take a lot of shots at Johnny, and I know you do. Johnny's reputation in the United States is historic in that way before now. He was winning basketball games. He was helping people get players. He was getting people back and forth from the States. He's really a pioneer and someone that's really respected. And more than that, like I said before, it's about people and he's loved. And that's the last nice thing I'm going to say about him.
Yeah.
But I never asked John for any help with basketball, but I think the same thing with John and Tony, the same thing with you. Your show is very popular. It's about connecting to people. And I don't care what business you're in. And if it's college basketball or if it's you're selling homes or if you're on the front line and you're taking care of people, if you don't know how to integrate yourself and your spirit, your soul to someone else, it's an uphill battle. And I really believe that. And then I've got good players and good coaches.
Yeah.
And we play fast. We have fun. And I give guys visions immediately. So I'm like, when I got the job, Tony, we were going to win the NEC championship and go to the NCAA tournament. We did that in our third year. And then we had the third youngest team in America.
Wow.
Then once we did that and lost in the first round, our next vision was we're going to go back and we're going to win a game. 2 years or 3 years later, we went back and we won a game. And now what's happening is the bar is set high. And the last 2 years, obviously there wasn't a tournament last year. This year we didn't go. The bar is set high and the expectations are high, but that's okay. I can live like that. And we have one stat. I got to brag about my program.
Do it.
Every player, Tony, and I don't know how many people can say this, every player that has stayed 4 years at Fairleigh Dickinson and 4 years at UMass Lowell has gone to the NCAA tournament.
Wow.
So in my two jobs, every single player that's graduated, and it's just a testament to all the players. Last year, the second thing I'll say, and one of my players told me about this the other day, when we won it in 2019, we went to the tournament, our starting five all scored 1,000 points.
Wow.
Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five. So we really share the ball. Our teams improve. And I'm just happy to coach a great group of guys and a great staff for a tremendous university. And the kids believe me when I recruit them now. When we recruited P.O., in Montreal from Vanier.
Another Vanier.
I used to call it Vanier. Now I know it's Vanier.
Vanier Cheetahs.
Yes, the Cheetahs. And he believes that we're going to go back to the tournament soon, and we will. And it's just a conviction that we have and a perseverance that we have. And that's our goal, and that's what we do.
It's Marinero. It's John DeAngelis. It's the Sick Podcast, and it's brought to you by MyBookie. Use code SickPicks for a 50% deposit bonus. Bet, win, get paid. As a matter of fact, I checked you out on Twitter before talking today, and I saw there were some images that came up of 2019, and you promised we'll get back there.
Yes. That's just what I'm about, man. And if you don't set your goals high, then you won't reach them. But I think we have a formula, and our formula is, and it's the same thing with PO. We've done a demographic study of our team.
Okay.
Our players predominantly come from schools that are high schools and prep schools that are high academic, with success, with good coaching, and with good parents. So now if you can check off all of those boxes, you're going to get a person that, combined with the other 12 guys, you're going to have a winning product. And we're just really convinced that, that we're going to do it again. And that's our job and that's our goal. And if we don't get it, we just keep on working. Nothing's going to be handed to us. And we understand that. But and once you get the taste, Tony and Johnny, you guys know it, man. You get that. When we got on that plane after we beat Prairie View in 19, and that's what the teams in this tournament are missing.
Yeah.
They're winning games, but they're going right back to their same hotel room, and they're staying distant. I know guys. I was just on the phone with the associate head coach at UCLA, Darren Savino, who I got into the business at Seton Hall, and he's like, "It's great, but we're very combined, and we have to be very But when we won, we went to the airport, and I'll never forget it. I don't know why, but we were going to Salt Lake, but there was a big yellow plane charter, and it said Miami charter or something like that. And that was the plane that was taking us from Dayton to Salt Lake. And this was like euphoric. You get on the plane, and the flight attendants have FDU gear on and hats. And you have the whole plane. The cheerleaders are on. Your president's on. Your family is on. And as they come on the plane, you just hug everybody. And it's like you could fly the plane yourself.
Coach, where do I sign, man? I want to sign a letter of intent. I think I got a year left of eligibility, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, man.
You know what? We have something in this business we call energy vampires. We try to stay away from guys that just suck your energy, whether it's an assistant coach who constantly complains or whether it's a player who's just never happy. Well, I'll tell you, you could have the worst day, the worst year. When you call Coach Herenda, you are ready to get on the floor and take a charge and then dive for a loose ball, get back up again, run through a wall. He gets you going. I'm ready to sign. I got 1 year left. I can defend a little bit. Whenever you're ready, let me know.
Johnny, I'd rather have your son than you, to be honest. Yeah, I would. But
my son, so I'll go for it.
Your ship has sailed. But Tony, that's it. And it's like once you get that feeling, now I know. When I was a young coach, Tony, I used to listen. I have my own radio show, so I do kind of like what you do, and I love talking to other people and learning. Yeah. I would listen to.
Pardon me, coach. Is that still going on?
Oh, absolutely. I got to have you on, Tony. Yeah, every Sunday.
It's Sunday mornings, right?
Sunday mornings, and now it's turns into a podcast, so you can. And I've had like John said, I've had Dick Vitale, UB Brown. I just had on, Lisa Byington, the woman that just did she was the first play-by-play CBS person to do a game on CBS Sports. She played basketball at Northwestern. I've had football players, baseball players. I'm still waiting. I'm supposed to have the New York Ranger hockey coach on. I have people from all over the world on, and it's just part of what I do. So I'm more than a basketball coach.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. The minute you have Tony on, you'll never ever be the same.
I don't have to talk to you.
Now, who's a bigger sports nut, yourself, Coach Herenda, or your son?
My you know what? My son is my wife's child. He is academically. He's a good-looking young man that is academically, he's in the business honors school here at Fairleigh Dickinson in Florham. And he's quietly loves it. The funny thing about me, Tony, is when I'm off, like when I shut this off and I don't have to recruit.
Yeah.
I love watching documentaries about everything but basketball. I'm not 24/7 basketball. I'll watch other sports. I grew up. I used to sneak into the Ranger games and saw the Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. And when I went to Montreal, we went by the Forum and the Blue Ice back in the day, and Peter Mahovlich. So I'm more diverse than people think. But sports is obviously it's made my life. It's given me an opportunity. We live up here in northern Bergen County, which is a beautiful area to live in. I coach at a beautiful school. So, I'm blessed. I really am.
It's the Sick Podcast, and I'm inviting you to go to sportbuffshop.com for all of your officially licensed sports apparel and more. Use code SICKHoodies15 for 15% off on all hoodies. Coach, what advice would you give to players that are at the tournament right now? You've been there, you've done that, you've lived it. If there's one piece of advice you can give the players, and one piece of advice you can give the coaches, what would it be?
Just do what you do. Don't reinvent yourself. Believe in yourself and stay hungry. Because the one thing that will happen is you'll go and then you can get caught up with everything that's going on and you start falling in love with yourself in the moment. and you have to stay in love with your opponent and study and persevere and stay focused.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you got to be able to go down to the dining hall and take it in. So there's a balance that you need. But the key is don't, like if you, I don't know, let's just say you do a lot of film.
Yeah.
Keep doing a lot of film. If you don't do a lot of film, don't start overburdening them on film.
Good point.
If you press, if our scouting reports are a little bit different.
Yeah.
I ask my assistant coaches all the time, okay, number one, can we win the game? And they all say, yeah. And I say, well, how do we win the game? And then they tell me how. And then I say, well, how do we lose the game? And then we start from there. So anybody can go over, you pick and pop and you flex and you're spacing. And by now you can cover almost every movement that, you played, 20, 30 games. But I want to make our opponents uncomfortable. And I want to make us as comfortable and then we have a chance to win. We have a good chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't vary too much. I would stay the same and enjoy the moment, but stay focused, because here's the deal. When you lose in the tournament, or you lose in your conference tournament, or you lose in your high school tournament going on up in Canada, it's the worst feeling in the world. We all know that. And you just want to avoid that.
Losing is the worst feeling in the world?
Pardon me?
Losing, you said?
Yes.
Try getting married.
I told you, man, your show will never be the same. Never be the same, Greg.
You know what? The advice I have to all the young people out there that are thinking about getting married.
That's the biggest loss ever.
Just wait. And then, Johnny, and you did this. Tony, I don't know you as well.
Yeah.
Then you'll find the greatest. And I found the greatest. So
good for you.
And Johnny found the greatest. But if you jump in early,
thank you, Coach.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, that's good advice. If you wait, you'll end up finding the greatest. But, for all those, we're just kidding, obviously. It's not that bad. You know the way it is. You got your good days. You got your bad months.
But it's true, though. If you're a coach, if you're a coach and you don't marry the right woman,
finish.
You can't.
Coaching, forget about it.
He's Coach Herenda, the coach of FDU, and Coach, you're right about that, because listen, I'm sure, all kidding aside now, you eat, sleep, live your job, I'm sure, 24 hours a day. If you don't have that supportive partner, and especially when you're coming home after a couple of losses, right, it takes a pretty special partner. So hats off to your wife. When good players go up against great players, they have butterflies. Now, you're a great coach. Your CV doesn't lie. There's no doubt about it. There are some in the sport who are considered greats, who are considered legends. I have to ask you, when you coach against one of the greats, do you have those butterflies that some players have when they go up against the greats in their sport?
It's funny. I've been blessed to be around a lot of great people. And Bob Hurley, I think you know the name. He's the father of Dan Hurley, the coach at UConn, and Bobby Hurley, the head coach of Arizona State, coached right up the street from me. And he's a Hall of Fame coach. And I was always in his gym when we weren't having our practices. So I was around greatness. And as a college coach, through my mentor, George Blaney, I met Jim Calhoun. The first game that I coached at UMass Lowell was against UConn. And that was the team that went to the Final Four in Detroit. It was 2000, I want to say it was 2008 or 9, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Really good team. And I just went down and shook Coach Calhoun's hand, and I thanked him for the game. And we started coaching, and as God is my judge, I never thought about it. Zero. We ran the first play of the game. It's on tape, John. And to beat was covering our big kid.
Oh, okay.
So what we did was just a little, do you mind an X and O session here?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We cross-screened for our big, so that we would, normally bring him into the low post.
Yeah.
But instead of using the cross screen, we doubled down, and we had a 6'9" kid named Ali Kanan, and we brought him to the 3-point line
Montreal kid.
On a double down. Exactly.
Yeah.
Montreal kid who was originally from Lebanon.
Yeah, played at Seja Montmorency.
Exactly. So to beat never leaves the paint. Ali comes to the top of the key, and for 2 months we were going to run this play. I told Ali, we're running this play, and you're going to shoot the first three. We're going to go up 3-0 against UConn. Ali comes. This is great. He comes to the top. To beat is under the basket. Ali catches it, and I'm like, okay. And Ali shoots it. He banks it in. I swear to God, he banks it in. He looks at me and he puts his hands up like that. But I think the power of suggestion, and I was never. Second story, my first Division I game was against Arizona. Now this is a classic, Tony.
Yeah.
And this is when I first get the job. It's at Arizona. The kid Aaron Gordon, I think he just got traded a few minutes ago. He just got traded
to Denver Nuggets.
From Orlando to who?
The Nuggets, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the Nuggets. Check that. Could have been. But anyway.
I'll check later.
Good player. I tell our team, listen, guys, it's an 11 o'clock game in New York and New Jersey. Everyone's going to be watching. It's ESPN now. I said, everybody's going to be watching the beginning of the game, and then they're going to fall asleep probably, okay, except your parents. What I want to do is win the first 4 minutes of this game and show the country that we can hang with Arizona. We had a player named Sid Sanders, Tony.
Yeah.
He averaged 4 points a game as a junior. He was a junior college transfer, right?
Yeah.
He played for me his senior year.
Yeah.
He averaged 19.4. Wow. He makes a layup at the 15:50 mark and gets fouled at Arizona. What do you think the score is after 4 minutes at Arizona, FDU, Arizona?
You're down by 15.
Johnny?
3-0. With the free throw.
They shoot the free throw after the TV timeout. At that moment, FDU 9, Arizona 8.
Okay.
Our team runs to the bench, and everybody's fucking hugging everybody. We literally celebrated our first 4 minutes beating a number one team. And then I had to calm him down. And Sean Miller, who I recruited Sean Miller, or tried to. And I'm like, guys, these guys, they're going to press us. So make a long story short, this is a great story. The game ends. Sean finally puts in some walk-ons.
Yeah.
They make 2 threes at the end of the game. These walk-ons, right?
Yeah.
Guess what the final score is? 100.
100.
100. I'll never forget it. My first college game. 100-50.
Oh my.
Not like 101-62. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'll never forget it. Now you can't make this up, Tony. A week later, we play Rutgers at Rutgers and beat them. And then we play Seton Hall at Seton Hall and beat them.
Wow.
And
these are high major programs. Wow.
We beat a Big Ten and a Big East team.
Wow.
And the year before, they won 5 games in total. So the thing is, like, I told my team we could beat Arizona for 4 minutes. They believed it. But we knew we were going to be good, and I thought we could beat Rutgers. And these kids just feed off what you believe, and that's the special part about coaching is when you can take people and do things that you're not supposed to do. And
exactly. Well said.
Pretty cool. By the way, a couple of minutes ago, I checked, and Aaron Gordon was traded to the Nuggets. All right, so he definitely was.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. It's not me. It's my son. My son told me.
No. You're right.
Andrew told me. It wasn't me.
Tony, Mike Malone has been on my show. Mike Malone was on my radio show last year after they lost to, in the finals.
Yeah.
So just another guy that has been on my show, and maybe we can trade some guests. I'd love to get.
Sure, that would be cool.
Why not? Tony, when can we pencil in Tony, please?
Let's work on it. My bookie, use code. You ready for this, Coach? Sick balls for 20% off on your purchase at Manscaped, because Manscaped, Coach, is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all your below-the-waist grooming needs. And I have to tell you, this sponsor was brought to us by John D'Angelis. This is his doing, because he told me, he says, Tony, back in the day, I used to have a bunch of coaches come down to Montreal for the weekend, and I used to know exactly where to bring them. But if they're ever going to come back, they're going to have to use Manscaped. Timeout. Let's not say anymore.
I'm going to get in trouble here. Let's go to the next topic now.
Coach, the second that you said that John D'Angelis is a legend and historic in the United States, I knew exactly why. Hey, two more quick ones for you. Number one, who's going to win the March Madness?
Wow. I mean, the obvious choice, and I'm really pulling for them because we played them and they bounced us out. And it's funny to answer your other question, like Mark Few, I coached against them. And when you're coaching, as soon as that game starts, you're looking at their players. You're not looking down. And Mark was very, very much a gentleman before, during, and after the game. So I'm kind of pulling, even though I'm an East Coast guy. It would be great to see Gonzaga finally dot the I and cross the T. But I'm telling you, other than them, there's so many good teams. I mean, like Baylor and Michigan, Alabama. Yeah. That next group is really, and a lot of people, prognosticators are saying it's Gonzaga. There's no question. Why are we playing? The first Final Four, Tony, I ever went to was in Lexington, Kentucky, as a young coach in 1985. And everyone was selling their tickets and leaving Lexington because Georgetown was going to beat Villanova.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I stayed because I just wanted to be a part of it. And that's what really got me going about coaching college basketball. I sat there and it was Villanova, St. John's, and Georgetown were in the Final Four that year, and Memphis stayed back then. And I just it was like living a dream. And I stayed there, and obviously Villanova, beat them. So I think Gonzaga is beatable, but I love the way UCLA is playing. I'm a little bit, if you watch them hard, they really guard, they rebound, they believe in themselves. I think Mick Cronin is he's not underrated. He's getting paid like $1 billion, so he's not underrated, but he's a very good coach.
Tremendous coach.
But there's so many good teams, and the tournament's so wacky that anything can happen. But I would say, but the dark horse, if I had to give you a dark horse, it would be, and they're really not dark horse. Like Florida State, USC can win it. Yeah. But ultimately, I'm pulling for Gonzaga, and because we played them, and I think it'll be pretty good. We've played Villanova, who won the national championship, Kentucky, Arizona, Ohio State, Cincinnati. So our schedule, we play the best because the kids want to come and play against the best.
Wow, that's amazing. Closing up here. I'm going to save our most important question for last. He's Coach Greg Herenda of FDU. John D'Angelis to the right. I'm Marinaro. It's the Sick Podcast. Coach Herenda is in New Jersey. John and I are in Montreal. Coach, who makes a better bagel, New York or Montreal?
Oh,
you know what, Johnny? I don't think you ever. I don't remember. I remember we had great breakfasts. When I go to Ireland, I used to coach a run a camp in Ireland. the best breakfasts in the world were in Ireland, but in Montreal we had really good breakfasts. I don't think America does it as good as our other countries, but I don't remember having a lot of bagels in.
We didn't go to St. Viator?
Pardon me?
I thought we went to St. Viator. We picked up some bagels. Maybe not. Maybe it was. Maybe not.
Coach, you're hanging out with the wrong guy when you come to me. You got to hang out with me next time.
He did everything else well.
I just got to say one thing, though, Tony. I got to say one thing.
Sure.
You know when you go to Vegas and whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yeah.
Montreal's got the same slogan. Whatever happens in Montreal stays in Montreal.
Yo, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this picture. I'm
Tony, you know what I mean?
Look at this. Wait a minute. Oh, I don't know how to do this.
There we go.
This is my screensaver.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my wife and I downtown Montreal.
Old Montreal.
Wow.
Old Montreal when we went up to recruit P.O. Racine. And still, that's one of our favorite days ever. We hung out in Old Montreal, and then we went to Vanier.
Yeah.
I got a big piece of my heart is Canadian. It really is.
Old Montreal is really lovely, isn't it?
Gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. And the people were good. My wife, she should be a guest. She speaks fluent French, and
all right, she's the best. You make sure you say hello to her, please. And Trey, please.
I definitely will. I definitely will. Tony, I'm going to have you on the show, man.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
And I just thank you for having me on. And what can I say, man? I love Canada. I love Johnny. I love you guys, and I hope we have 2 players. Our other kid is Kalen Baker from up in Toronto, and we'll be back up there. A lot of good. John Corbaccio, I coached. He's an assistant for the Toronto Raptors, and I love you guys, and I appreciate you having me on.
Coach, you had so many great stories for us again, and I know you have so many more. I know we're going to do it again. He's the coach of FDU. He's Greg Herenda. Thanks for doing this. It's the Sick Podcast, and you can follow on Facebook and Instagram at the Sick Podcast. See you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Guys. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. Peace.